Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Meeple has landed.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Vitruvian Meeple's presentation of the Powers That Be Claim the Sky campaign. I am your host, Trevor, the Vitruvian Meeple, here as always with Patrick, ECAT, Matt, Julie, and Ray. We're here to play some CYPHER system superheroes. Although if you saw the last episode, hero may or may not be an accurate descriptor anymore. Yeah, atomic wedgies and toilet bowl head bouncing. But
Anti-hero is still
exactly
a valid term.
Yeah. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to our GM, Patrick. Patrick, please take us back into the world of Excelsior.
All right. So, when last we left our intrepid adventurers, we had some interesting things happening. The team leader was out of town because he had a meeting in the STEM headquarters in DC. And so everybody else took it upon themselves to kind of keep themselves occupied. This involved busting a human trafficking ring in a very bloody fashion, of course. People's heads were bounced off of toilet bowls. Folks were beaten savagely by folks who were in the middle of being trafficked. And in the end of the day, a alien weapon got into the hands of the group. Because, that's what we do. That's how we roll. In the meanwhile, our illustrious team leader, Gen X, was in a meeting down in DC discussing the matters going on Rikers Island nearby. Of course, just, a few precious miles, not even miles, hundreds of feet away from where you tend to get your coffee every day. The island has been split in two. Half of it is now a mad circus, the other half a military installation for mercenaries, and all sorts of mayhem is going on. And nobody really knows what to do about it, even though the leadership of STEM seems a little cagey about their involvement in what's happening. Following the meeting, on his way out, Gene saw a thing that just neither delighted him nor made him hopeful for the future at all. There was a family outing in the Garden of Remembrance, which, if you recall, is the large area in front of the STEM headquarters and the headquarters of the Liberty League, of course, which is statues of all of the fallen heroes throughout the years. At one end is, in front of the building, it's the statues of the original Liberty League, missing one person, who is Automacon, who was the sentient robot, who is kept inside of the lobby to protect its impenetrable armor self from any damage or theft or anything like that. Frozen in its final, position where it had saved the entire country. And then on the other side, of course, is the Reichsdonner, the massive mechanical monstrosity from the Third Reich that had been sent to the United States to change the course of the entire war, and currently is laid sort of sitting position with a large hole in his chest where Automacon had blown a hole through it. And in front of the Reichsdonner is a family outing, which is the entire group known as the Order of Magnitude, having a wonderful picnic, looking at the statues. Erebus pointing out all he's nerding over everybody there and explaining who everybody is to his adoptive daughter. The others with him are just seem to be reminiscing about old days. In fact, there are statues of them in fights with some of the other heroes that have fallen, and they were the reason the heroes fell. So it's kind of an awkward situation for some of the people hanging out, looking at like, oh, and that's where Mr. Magnificent fell to, oh, her over there. Oh, why is she still around? But of course, nobody brings that up. And shortly thereafter, of course, then you get in a car, drive out to the nearby secret airport, take a super secret flight up the coast, drop off at a very non super secret place we like to refer to as LaGuardia Airport, mere minutes away from your home. It is early in the morning. The birds are just starting to wake up. And of course, you notice a very common thing now in your neck of the woods. The crows are waking up for the roosting spots and they are freaking everywhere.
And I realized something about my flight back, which is sort of setting the tone for this whole episode. So I fly to DC, no incidents whatsoever. It's not something I haven't done before. And I'm returning. And like you said, it's early morning. So, I got an early start. And, but out of character, as I'm approaching the upper bay and kind of, starting to veer over towards Queens, speaking of birds waking up, I'm approached rather, I passed some seagulls on the way over, and one of them just veers like in front of me and bumps me. I'm like, that hasn't happened before. The bloody hell. Just kind of alter my flight pattern. But as I alter my flight pattern, another seagull comes in and bumps me from the other side. And as I look around, there is about 10 to 12 seagulls flying with me, keeping pace, that weren't there a scant half a mile earlier. And their efforts begin to increase to the point of one of the seagulls that was out front stops his pattern, turns, and like hecks me. So basically slows down and lets me run into him. This gives me stored energy, and now I'm pissed. So as I'm like recoiling from like that hurt, like it actually pierced through the shirt. I'm bleeding a little bit. And to deal with this, I alter my flight plan to just sort of see all of the seagulls, and I just release energy to the whole lot of them in order to send them flying out that way.
Fortunately, seagulls are not terribly sturdy creatures in the grand scheme of things, so they just fly apart into a cloud of loose feathers and angry seagulls who are now trying to get the heck away from the person who just smacked them back, which they were not expecting.
Mm-hmm. And then I assume the
So you come back
statues and
into local airspace. But, and as you're traveling around the country, it's always good to let the air control towers nearby know where you are so you do not run into any airplanes. There have been such incidents in the past, and they try to prevent that. And so you cruise over LaGuardia, you give them a wave on the way past. And then once you're, below plane cruising height, you drop down and are, now back into your neighborhood. It's early morning, the food carts are just being rolled out.
I need coffee.
Always.
Coffee good. So you stop by the coffee joint, Sunbucks, of course, and you land down, stretch your arms a bit because flying, because you always have your arms in some position when you're flying. Can't
Mhm.
like be scrolling on your phone or slipstream will just take it away from you immediately. So you stretch your arms and whatnot. You walk in, and of course, who happens to be working the desk but our good friend Jane? Oh,
I walk up to the. Mhm.
you're back in town.
Yes, I am, and I need an extra large this morning, please and thank you.
She makes you a nice cup of coffee, slides it over the counter.
And as I start to sip it, now I don't know. I have not dressed the wound at all. So it's doing whatever it's doing. There should be like a noticeable puncture
Yeah, a little
around the
trickle of blood
collarbone.
pouring out of it.
Yeah, or at least, the red spot just kind of being there. It was like, I'll deal with that later. Is my
She looks at,
coffee
oh,
first,
what happened?
hit and run with the seagull.
Seagulls. There's no seagulls out here. All we have are the crows.
That's what I thought, but not whenever I was coming into home base. It was like a small flock of them were out like patrolling and acted like I invaded their airspace.
Huh.
Needless to say, I took care of that. Slurp.
She reaches under the desk, pulls out her Thompson repeating rifle, opens it up, checks to make sure that she has, a tube full of rounds, closes it back up. Well, if I see any, I'll take care of them.
You got scattershot in that?
I don't need scattershot. I can hit a seagull.
Just asking.
I can hit a seagull looking in a mirror over my shoulder.
So I've heard.
It's not that difficult. You just have to accidentally shoot a few people while you're learning, and after that, it's easy.
I'm gonna take your word for that.
So, meanwhile, everybody else in the group is waking up and doing your morning routine, which, at least for some of you, involves going down to the conference room to check the computers and see what the heck's going on in the neighborhood. At least anybody, takes their heroing job seriously. I'm sure at least one of you do.
I'm checking on the prisoners that we still have downstairs.
Indeed.
And by checking on, I mean, like, innocently torturing mercilessly.
And Jack probably, I mean, honestly surprised that he doesn't have like just a constant feed going on as far as the news and things like that.
I will have stayed at my aunt's house because, I have certain agreements with the parental folk.
Yes.
So
yes,
I am trudging my way into Sunbucks. Knox is sitting on my shoulder as I walk in. I kind of nod at Jean as I just kind of walk up and stare at Jane until she gives me my usual
she slides it across you.
morning.
Actually, she grabs your mug because, of course, you have a highly insulated mug to keep your coffee warm for more than 5 seconds, and fills it off and makes sure she hits it with the steam gun a little bit longer just to make sure it's extra hot. And this morning, Knox seems a little disquieted.
That's why I've kept him on my shoulder as opposed to shooing him off before entering the building.
and he bristles a little bit at Jean as you walk in. Something about him seems to disturb Knox.
I notice Knox's unrest because he looks at me the way that crows do, and I started to pick up on their mannerisms, funny enough. And for the first time, it's like I understand him without needing any special tools, tricks, or hacks. And I look at, like, he looks at me, I look at him, like, what? Oh, that? Yeah. One of your kind on the flight in. Wasn't too happy.
It hops off of Neva's shoulder, flies over to you, and then starts picking a couple of the random feathers that you had run into after you had created the cloud of them, and starts pulling them off of you and letting them drop to the floor.
Oh, thanks. I hadn't even thought about doing anything about that. Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Dude, what the hell happened to you?
Minding my own damn business. And on flying back, no sooner had I crossed the upper bay than about a dozen seagulls acted like I was invading their turf. They were starting, literally, it was like an old 20s cop movie where the cars crashing in, there's seagulls coming in here, and one of them had the audacity, freaking did one of those Akira motorcycle spin outs and let me run into its beak with my shoulder. Fuck, I'm gonna need a new jacket. I got pissed. Yeah, a seagull.
Sky rats.
Uh-huh. Got aggressive.
Knox really likes that and starts cawing out rat over and over again.
Oh, great.
So I returned the favor, backed off a little bit, and blasted their feathered asses out across the ocean. I guess I should tend to this.
Yeah,
That's a medicine cabinet? We have one in here, right?
I wander off. I go get the med kit and a sewing kit. They're conveniently next to each other. Come back, sit down, take out the jacket, take out the shirt, make sure that he's actually cleaned and, when was your last tetanus shot?
Oh God. Well, no. It was whenever we had to go through that rigmarole with STEM.
Okay.
I got my shots renewed. You all should have done the same thing.
So I clean up his shoulder and then sit down with his jacket and clean the blood off and start just mending it by hand, and until he can have it dealt with, professionally.
Thank you. This is actually really great. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Fucking bird. Not you. Not look over at Knox like, well, you're cool. You're cool.
Rat.
Yeah, rat.
So in the conference room, of course, checking all the news feeds and other things going on. And of course, there's the usual amount of mayhem. There's, heroes fighting villains all over the place. Couple super villain sightings. But the big alarms haven't had to go off in a while, which everybody is rather glad for. And strangely enough, Statesman's been kind of hanging low for the past couple days. After, of course, his altercation with, all of you and your fine sort of compatriots in the order of magnitude.
Well, at least he's staying quiet.
Right?
Too quiet.
Really? How noisy do we want it?
Yeah.
I mean, not in our face noisy, but, normally he's out there committing, vigilante brutality against small, petty criminals.
That at least aren't in our neighborhood.
Right. The fact that he's not showing up anywhere is a little distressing. I'd rather know where he is.
And I put a finger up to Jack and I went, aha. And I reach in the other side of my jacket pocket and I pull out my cell phone and explain. So, on my business trip, I had the opportunity to debrief our fine cohorts in our nation's capital and across this fantastic city that we call home. Turns out that the statesman is being watched. He has gotten the interest of other people much higher up than him, and not because they want to give him another trophy.
Well,
So, given the incident that we diffused, I managed to make an argument, win it, and I have a little channel to our friends in the Capitol should something a little bit on the left need to channel information about our beloved statesman.
man, and you bust on me for using large words. A little bit of
I'm in my
circumlocution here. Man, just shorter sentences. So the next time he tries to kidnap a minor or assault them, we can report him, right?
I'm afraid it's going to have to go beyond those parameters. Um, and of course, like it was anything that would have, any details that would have been useful were not shared. But if I do get notified, it's going to be important. And we're going to have somebody available to act on it. By the way, I don't remember you enjoying the fine taste of Cuban cigars or Marlboros or anything of the like. Are you okay?
Well, there was a Zeal and Ardor concert up at 42nd Street last night, so I may have shouted myself hoarse a little bit.
Good to see you getting out there and getting into some of those outside interests. Glad to see you showing that youthful energy still. Good. Good on you.
Gee, swell, Pops. Anything else?
You want a lozenge?
Working on it. Thanks,
All
buddy.
right.
I'm thinking like cup of coffee in one hand and a cup of tea with honey and lemon in the other. Just alternate,
Just
It's
double
not-
fisting it this morning.
I gotcha.
So Crash,
Just checking on my crew. That's all.
So Crash, this information about statesmen sounds really fascinating to you, and you have a feeling that at some point your compatriots might want to be interested in learning that something's going on with him.
Yes. Thank you. It's been a month. And actually, so Crash is actually very quiet and has kind of a look on his face that can best be described as consternation.
Oh, you mean normal?
No. Take the baseline, then add that description.
Ah, okay.
Something's not sitting right.
You okay over there?
Well, if you uncross your legs and switch, it might improve your posture.
My posture's just fine, old man.
Oh,
We've overlooked something. When we were on Rikers, and there was the trailer that Will was in. There was Patrick, I am actually forgetting. It was a safe, or what was it?
Yes, there was a safe inside of the trailer that he stored a bag full of
Thank you.
rare elements.
Yep. Why? First of all, why store them there? Second of all, why store them in a, even if it's hard to get into, so to speak, not real hard to make off with? There's a piece not fitting in the puzzle. I want to know what it is.
I mean, honestly, I thought about swiping them myself. It would have been fairly easy to pay Demetria in rare earth elements. But yeah, something doesn't sit right with that.
Oh, and you were talking about Statesman. Yeah, he's a part of some secret program at STEM. And I play back the footage that shows the recruits basically coming in for the MIB test. Yeah. Don't know what they want. Don't know what the next step is yet. We've got two almost certainly related mysteries. That many mysteries doesn't sit right with me.
hey, Neve,
Hmm.
you like to walk off with pretties and shinies, right?
Maybe.
As not her lawyer, I advise my client to not answer that.
Plausible deniability.
Right?
I acquire abandoned items and keep them safe.
Of course you do. What would prevent you from acquiring said items that were perfectly ready for the taking?
Lack of opportunity. Where should I go take a walk, old man?
Okay, that's the second iteration of old man that I've heard before I finished my first coffee.
Just
Not
saying,
You have
not
a
our fault.
training.
Not our fault. You're behind the curve.
you know, you're looking a
Behind the
little
curve.
haggard there.
I was 2 states away a scant 8 hours ago. I don't want to hear it from any of you.
All right.
Dude, you
Are
got
your
beaten
arms-
up by a seagull.
Are your arms
The
tired?
word is assaulted. Assaulted.
So now that
Go
you
check
have
on
run
that
so far
seagull
away,
now. Some
Anyway.
porpoises. Anyway.
Where am I going for a walk?
I think I think I might be able to help in that. Why don't we see if we can go someplace we're not supposed to go? What do you say?
Sounds good to
You mean a
me.
day ending in Y? Sure, let's do it.
Sure.
All right, so
I stand up, I place my backpack on my back.
we pile into the Humvee and head to Rikers.
Ah,
So-
yes, the conspicuous mobile.
Yeah.
Frank Castle can drive around in a big old black van that nobody seems to notice is at every crime scene where a whole bunch of criminals get the snot kicked out of them and or murdered, and not once do the police think, maybe that the big black van over there that looks
Right.
suspicious, the antenna sticking out of it might have something to do with all this.
Eh.
Yeah.
When the garage door opens and you are pulling out, you notice that there's quite a number of very agitated looking crows outside, who, as you pull forward, proceed to land onto the roof and are yelling at you.
All right, I'm going to roll a crow communication. See if I can figure out more of what's upsetting them. Since I have that skill, I might as well use it.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yes, indeed, roll.
I'm gonna throw 3 levels of effort into it.
Ooh, she ain't playing.
Nope.
Yes!
Nice.
Right. So you make out very quickly what the source of their problem is. They're telling you that one of them's been murdered.
Oh fuck. Which one? Yeah, like I know they're all Nox, but I'm able to figure out, I'm assuming, which one.
Knox 256.
Right.
27.3.2. Yeah.
How?
Gulls.
So, Gene, are you with us or are you still back at base?
Oh, I'm with.
Yeah, I'm assuming the whole crew came.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently those that assaulted Gene back here have murdered one of my crows.
Because of my
He's-
previous confrontation with them and just my general headspace right now, I actually squeezed my coffee mug and put a slight dent in it upon hearing that information.
These sky rats need to die.
Yeah.
Or at least know their place.
No, they need to die.
Well, that
Yeah.
place could be in the bottom of the sea, so. Or whale poop.
Oh, that's a thought.
Okay. So I try to figure out if they know if there is something behind the gulls acting out of character for
They don't know,
gulls.
but they are acting out of character. They seem to be organized.
Seagull Union. Well,
Yeah, well, there's a reason why a group of crows is called a murder.
and a group of seagulls is called a bad hairdo.
And
The
no
flock use.
French fry will be safe on this island.
I suppose that takes precedence over the safe that will still be there when we're done.
Say it ain't going anywhere.
All right.
Pros before foes, man.
Because of course this game that's awesome. That this game of course follows the rules like any computer RPG where the main quest can be sitting there like the building's burning down, all the children dying. 8 side quests later you finally show up. The building's on fire.
It's still burning.
A year of game time, man.
Building was on fire when I got here. Oh, sorry, wrong universe.
All right. I say
Leave,
we
I
follow
dare
the
say you-
crows.
Huh?
I say we follow the crows.
All right.
Yeah.
So the crows fly up, circle around and start heading towards the last place you want to go. Long Island.
Oh,
Not that you've had
wretched,
vacations there involving glitter, but
wretched island of scum and villainy.
and in fact, as you think about back on your
Staten
last
Island.
adventure there, you notice that there's still some glitter inside of this vehicle that just has not been able to be vacuumed up.
Never going to leave.
That girl made the most insidious weapon of all
Seriously.
time.
Superpowered
Craft
craft
herpes.
herpes. Yeah.
Yeah, craft. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So we follow the
Okay,
crows.
then.
Yep.
Let's do this.
I don't know if I've had all my shots to go to Long Island.
Oh.
We have ointment back at the base.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
You know, there's your malaria shots, your syphilis, your dengue fever, your large hair.
What are you all planning on
Aquanet.
doing?
Hey, Jack,
So, you
what
head-
elimination devices do you happen to have on your person at this time?
That's you don't need to know that.
Pay no attention to the large hump in in the back of his trench coat.
It folds up nicely.
I know.
So
That's accurate.
And the Ventura is packed down ridiculously small too. It's good that way.
remember,
Seriously.
plausible deniability means I love you.
Yes.
So you hop on to 495 and are cruising down it about as fast as your average armored Humvee can go. So all the other traffic is honking at you as it flies past you. But that's okay because your average crow doesn't crack along at that fast of a speed. I believe. Well, what is their max speed? About 25 miles an hour, I think. So you're making good time. Most of the crows are just clinging to the roof at this point and trying not to get knocked off by any of the other weather events happening. So you make your way towards the island, and once you get out of Excelsior proper, you start noticing that there's a surprising number of seagulls around. Kind of like a big storm was about to happen and they all start coming inland. Similar to that, except, it's a wonderful, bright, clear, sunny day.
Except for that huge dark cloud of seagulls up in there in the sky.
Yeah, that can't be good.
Yeah, I don't like this.
So,
Well, Han Solo, I have a bad
Yeah.
feeling
Yep.
about this.
so Nox starts trying to give you some directions of things going on, like points towards the south as you are traveling north of JFK Airport. The airport you guys never go to because it is way farther away than the one that's right next to where you live.
Yep.
But Nox says something, disparaging about the gulls that are populating that area, that they're causing trouble.
Rats. Yeah.
That's the sky rats of JFK.
Yeah, I know, bud.
At some point, like an actual New York rat is going to pop his head out of the sewer. Like, what you talking about?
Hey man, that's
Rest of those.
denigrating my people here.
Oh, you're gonna finish
That's
that pizza?
specious.
Even though Stage still one of the best videos of all time is New York City rat stealing a piece of pizza. I think that's what everybody should see when they enter the city. It's just put you in the right mood for the place.
Yep.
So you cruise past Old Westbury and Old Westbury College, which I only know about through work. because occasionally we, have to work on the same things. You keep going out into further and further areas. You get to Jericho, and now you're deep, deep, deep in Long Island, and you don't feel comfortable. This is somebody else's territory, and you really, don't necessarily want to
Okay.
talk to them or deal with them at all, and hope that they don't notice you're driving through here. Not that you have a problem
Nothing
with
to
other
see
heroes.
here.
It's just that they're Long Islanders, and
Avoid whenever possible.
yes. Although remember that there are two places that superimpose on top of each other. There's Long Island, and then there's Long Island, and those are separate places. I've met people from both that come from even the same towns, and they don't sound even remotely alike.
Hmm.
So, but now you're starting to get into very much gull territory, in that you're not really seeing any wild crows hanging out. This wouldn't surprise you a whole lot most days, because it seems like most of them have moved into your neighborhood. They had to come from somewhere, and it seems like a lot of them vacated the rest of Long Island and have moved off to its westernmost reaches, which happens to be where Neva lives. Not that she's perhaps at fault for the reason that there are crows absolutely everywhere, but so eventually you pull off of the highway outside of Suffolk Community College. Another fine institution I occasionally have to hear from. And there's just a veritable cloud of gulls surrounding the campus.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I said that.
It's not unusual to see seagulls on a campus because students leave food
Yeah.
around. Of course, then, the gulls, crows, and other creatures of the wilds will, try to clean up after them, because somebody has to clean up after all the college students. And it's certainly not going to be the college students.
Any chance your crow language may have a different dialect?
Gulls are a completely different breed.
So are Long Islanders, your point?
Yeah, well, it's not so much a dialect. It's like being English and talking to a German. Actually, not German. Japanese. There's no commonality.
I mean, I
So
can't.
how dead? Go ahead.
No, I can't exactly beat one until it talks.
No, but you could beat one.
Oh, trust me.
Nox starts laughing at that.
How dense
reach
is
up
the
and-
sky? Yeah. How dense is the sky with gulls?
Pretty dense. They're flying all up and around the place. They're walking around the campus. The students don't seem too happy about all the gulls being around either, because occasionally the gulls seem to confront students for various reasons. Somebody loses their packed lunch to some gulls, who then all rip it apart and scatter with the various foodstuffs that were in there.
Hey, Jack,
Yeah, Gene.
I need your calculative expertise here. I'm going to effectively jump straight up above this cloud, trying to not be noticed, or at least not be worth chasing. You have the option of climbing onto my back and doing it in person, or pulling out your phone while I give a visual from above and looking at the surrounding area and telling us how big this swarm is.
No need. Put your goggles on.
Goggle.
Yeah. Or the contacts I gave you. Like
Oh, those.
it's part of your uniform. I can patch
I
in
had totally forgotten about those. So I go into the other pocket and they're not there. So I go back to the other one pocket. It's like, oh, they're right there.
or sunglasses or whatever you. There's different
Oh,
models.
yeah,
but
sunglasses. I like that. Okay. Yes.
yeah, I can just network with the optics and that's fine.
Okay, the
Excellent.
question is, are your sunglasses 1980s mirror shade aviators, or are they the fold up Porsche ones inside of the little faux leather pack?
Or are they just full on David Caruso from CSI Miami?
See, personally, but I gotta think they're not aviators. No.
Or
Um,
the Ray-Bans.
they're the Ray-Bans. They're the classic Ray-Bans. Dark, just black frames, little silver nodules on the earpieces. Oh yeah. You stick with the classics.
Yes, it has to fit with the jean jacket. I mean,
Right?
you can't wear a
The
pair of
jean
like the
jacket.
wraparounds or anything.
Ah.
But tum.
Is there a method to penalize somebody experiencing this game? Okay,
I
so
don't know. Is that a GM intrusion without like having to roll a 1 or offer experience points? It's
Right.
just the GM and
So what do we see?
Okay, so you fly up into and above the cloud of seagulls, and indeed, there's a lot of them there. You're kind of checking over them. They don't pay you a whole lot of mind as you fly up through them, um, which, given their previous aggression, is probably a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'll just punch one of those mothers out at this point. I don't care. So I survey and I look across and I try to find the edge of the area that they're maintaining a presence.
So indeed, they are maintaining a presence. This is kind of the curious thing about it, is that the middle of the campus doesn't have nearly as dense a population as around its edges. They seem to be trying to make some sort of aerial fortification around the environment. Like this is kind of deliberate.
weird.
So it's like a moat of seagulls.
Yes.
Those are two words I didn't want to put together in any kind of association. All right. So, and can we say that the difference in density is somewhere around 3-1?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Okay. Okay.
The one striking feature is that once you see off campus, there aren't a whole lot of gulls hanging out there. They're focusing on the structure of the campus itself.
So it's even a narrower band. It's not that they're just not concentrating on campus, but they're like they both have an inner and an outer border, as it were.
Yes.
All right, so I return to the ground and I zip pretty quickly past whatever flight zone the gulls are in just to avoid. And yeah, uh well, I mean, I'm relaying this by it's like I hate to admit this, but there is this like this power ring of seagulls right along the edge of campus, and I mean the edge of campus, there's a concentration of at least twice as many seagulls in that region than what we're seeing above us right now.
This isn't even a very good school. What the hell?
Indeed, that's the question that comes to mind is why, in the name of all heck, would they pick this of all places to swarm around? Now, mind you, of course, the crows that hitched a ride with you here are looking very nervous because they are hideously outnumbered right now. So they are sticking to the roof of the vehicle in the hopes that, if anything goes down, that you'll help them.
We will.
Hey, Pa,
Yeah.
are you sensing anything that might are you sensing anything in the air that is different than what it should be in a nice little substandard community college like this?
Okay, Jim, can I roll something for some sort of clue? But because
Let's see.
actually, while you figure out what I should roll, I am going to give the cats their FUD so they don't end up causing a rebellion. Yeah.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
This wouldn't be the fancy new skill she just bought or ability.
I'm trying to see what skill that is.
Other abilities.
Yes, but which one? You have a lot.
While she's doing that,
Oh, the other faults. Okay.
so is Nox still on your shoulder, Neve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has not left. He's
No, of course not. Just
not
checking.
happy.
No, don't blame him.
It may be safer for your buds to be inside the Humvee. I mean, not for the Humvee's upholstery, but
We'll roll the windows down, get out of the vehicle, offer it up to him.
Okay.
We'll take it through the wash whenever we go back.
Okay, felines have been appeased.
Okay, so I'm trying to think. Yes, actually roll it, and this should give you a good clue as to what's going on here.
Okay. Difficulty?
This will be a difficulty 4.
Or let's see.
I'm assuming it's an intellect roll.
It's an ability, not a skill, so it doesn't actually have.
So
Doesn't seem to have a stat attached to it.
Patrick, it's an intellect based roll, I would assume.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So just click the little D20 next to your intellect, and that'll bring up the dialogue.
Yeah, I know. I've got that. I've got the roll up.
Okay.
Cool intellect.
Oh, pardon.
Okay. There we go.
Nice.
Okay, so one of the big faults of seagulls is that they are almost completely food motivated. Yes, they can be, a little territorial or whatnot, but really their hallmark is just food all the time. So you were imagining that short of any sort of like military strategic purpose Suffolk Community College may have to a swarm of crows and a swarm of seagulls, perhaps there's something that they're here in order to feed their appetites or something like that. That would, explain the behavior if there was something that they wanted that badly around.
I wonder if the school cafeteria makes really good French fries.
The fries aren't that good. Come on.
Nobody makes fries that good.
I look over to Knox. Hey, Knox. Do you smell something on campus?
Edible food.
Looks around because it, of course, is also, very food motivated. And in addition to being shiny motivated. And it kind of tilts its head, clacks its beak a couple times, and says, cheap booze.
We're on a college campus. Of course there's gonna be cheap booze here.
Where?
Points towards the center of campus, the main quad.
All right, kids, let's go a strolling.
Yep.
I pull out my skateboard from the depths of the pocket, drop it down,
Okay, at least you actually fit in.
kick off.
So where's the kegger?
Hello, fellow kids.
So you cruise along the campus, and the students are off doing their student thing while trying to keep people from and keep the gulls from stealing whatever they have on them. And you see a student who gets accosted by a large number of gulls as you're approaching the center of campus. Just a whole bunch of them go after him, and they drop something and run. And the gulls swarm down upon whatever it is that hits the ground.
Okay. Well, as I'm approaching, I'm going to try to roll sudden flurry to just kind of disperse them by all the cold,
Okay.
because it just creates a little flurry around them. So, what is my difficulty?
Difficulty for that should be a 3.
Okay. Efforts. Yeah, it worked.
So
It worked.
suddenly there is a very drastic change in weather pattern in the sidewalk, and the gulls scatter immediately, leaving behind a empty aluminum can with a whole bunch of just crazy colored streaks and other stuff on it.
Can I tell if it's a soda, an energy drink, a beer?
Interestingly enough, it is
Cheap booze.
kind of both. So it says on it in French, of all things, quatre fou, which makes it a cheap French knockoff of a alcoholic / energy drink that had originally a Spanish name that we don't want to say for obvious copyright reasons. In case anybody's watching.
Quad the crazy.
All right, so I kick to a stop, pick it up, look at it.
You've never heard of this stuff before, and it sounds absolutely insane. It seems to have way more caffeine than a human should ingest in any period and keep their heart beating correctly. A bunch of grain alcohol added to it, and who knows what else.
I sniff it just to see if it's as revolting as the ingredients make it sound.
It seems pretty revolting, but it does promise to increase your grades by a whole letter while still having fun on campus. You can understand the popularity amongst the underclass.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food
By
and
the
Drug
FDA.
Administration.
Oh,
I do not think this has been a peer-reviewed thing. So I kick back towards the rest of the group and toss the can towards Jack.
Oh God.
Yeah,
This is what the kids are drinking these days?
at least the kid's here, because that's what those gulls attacked that kid for.
I mean, you know, in my day it was Mad Dog 2020 and Jolt, but
So is that what the gulls are drinking these days?
You
They
just
were
want a whole
going
bunch and
batshit
empty out
for it.
whatever was left in there. There is none of it left.
that's horrible. So we have blackout drunk wired gulls flying around.
Yeah.
I mean, there's food motivated, and then there's focused.
Belligerent, drunk, and cracked out on caffeine.
But how did they get that way in the first place? Once they're there, I can see it.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen advertising for this stuff. Do a quick Sawyer says legally distinct from certain social media and
Yep.
search engines. See if anything comes up.
So you pull up a search on the company, and it turns out that this product is illegal in the United States, but still occasionally gets smuggled in whenever it turns up anywhere. Of course, the police gather it up and dispose of it, and hopefully be done with it. But generally speaking, it is not very good for people. If you drink too much of it, it will land you in the hospital. And it apparently, what animal testing they did not go well, so the company covered it up.
Right. Okay. And community college students known for their restraint and good judgment.
Right.
Well, this seems like a bad combo.
Yeah.
So as you're standing there, looking yourselves as you do, a couple of UPD officers roll up on you.
I step forward and stand to meet them. Not saying anything, just I step forward.
They walk up, they look at the can that you're holding, go, Christ on a cracker, this stuff's still around here. You aren't bringing this onto campus, are you?
Nope.
Oh, absolutely not, officer.
We
I
look like the kind of people. Don't answer that.
I walk up, put my arm through Jean's arm, and I'm like, Dad, I told you, don't take that shit from the random guys that go walking by. We're just here to get a tour of campus to see if I'm going to start here next semester.
I look at you with eyes that just say, oh, just wait. Blink twice. And then go, but I thought all the cool kids were having this. I just want you to have a good time, sweetheart.
Oh God, Dad, seriously, just stop. You are embarrassing my sister. Just
What? I just want what's best for her.
I slide over, smack him in the ass, and say, "We discussed this, sweetie. No embarrassing the kids in front of prospective universities. Come on."
under my breath, I say, I still got the contract with the Crows, and the fucking it's gonna happen. It's like, all right, all right. For you, Sugar Plum, fine.
The officers changed their whole appearance immediately. Like, oh yes, well, you don't need to worry about any of this. We just last month we had a big bust on campus. Somebody had cases of this, and we of course confiscated it and immediately had it thrown into the landfill, so it shouldn't be bothering anybody else. We are ever vigilant about such things.
Of
See,
course,
see,
nobody would
Dad?
dumpster dive.
Yeah. See, Dad, Pops, I told you this would be a good school to look at.
It's looking better. I gotta say, it's looking better.
The officers wish you a good day and then head off, and one of them pulls out his pepper spray because somebody might be protesting something somewhere.
Can't have that.
I remove my arm and step back and try not to break into laughter.
And I whisper, I sort of mutter towards the group, wait right here. And I jog off back to the officers.
As Jack stumbles forward a little bit because his hand was still in your back pocket.
That's on you.
Well, it was on you
lovely.
beforehand.
Honestly, Calamity had been doing that so often, I forgot to notice. So I go to the officers, like, excuse me, gentlemen, officers, please. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt or disturb your day, or I know they got some protesters going on somewhere over there, but listen, so I'm like trying to get my daughter to just checking her for the university. I run like just a little, like, I'm worried about this stuff too. And I was just wondering because I was hearing stories for the east down the road a piece in a couple of other colleges. So this guy you busted with the cases of this stuff, what, like, was it a central operation? Was it just one schmuck in a hoodie? Or like, I want to know if it's like maybe it might be the same guy. Maybe these things are connected.
So he turns and he's holding his can of pepper spray. He's kind of shaking it up a bit, looking around warily at the students. So we're not sure. The ones that are on campus, like this person, like loaded up the back of their car with them and just drove them in. So like so of course he was promptly uh, given the as much punishment as the student judiciary was capable of. He was given a very strongly worded letter, and so and apparently has been behaving ever since. But yeah, like since then, they still occasionally show up on campus because the students can't get enough of this stuff, but not in such a concentration. But as per usual, like we have a contract with the local landfill, so we just chuck it in the back of the truck and be done with it, and that we do what we can.
So it's all the same guy. I'm wondering if it might be the same guy. Imagine that if he's doing it like with community college campuses all over the island. That would be
Oh,
like something, wouldn't it?
we'll have to call our colleagues over at Old Westbury. They might know something.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if it's the same guy. Is it the guy with the red hoodie and he always keeps it covered and he's got the white sneakers
Yeah,
and
the
he
really
drives this old
suspicious looking character. Yeah, yeah.
suspicious looking character? That's so specific. I really appreciate the detailed information there, officers. You're doing an impeccable job there. Okay. And I kind of trail off thinking that's going to be the end of anything remotely helpful from them.
Um, yes.
Okay.
There
So,
we go. In fact, I have a intrusion to propose for you.
for me?
Yes. So it's in the
I'm
chat.
giving the other one to. Oh wait, except. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that guy's like he's like the usual guy. Like he's always up, and the canister of tear gas slips out of his hand. Oh, not tear gas, pepper spray slips out of his hand. He grabs it and in the process squeezes the trigger on it and sprays you right in the face with a whole pile of pepper spray.
So
You're like, yeah, so oh!
this is absorbed energy.
Yes, indeed, it did spray you in the face.
Yeah.
I'm in pain right now. But I also, is it safe to say that I kind of caught what was going on? And this is like, was one of those, oh fuck moments.
Yeah, you see it happening in slow motion as the foam starts heading right towards your face and like, oh,
Okay. So yeah, it's like I'm in pain, but I'm also pissed.
Imagine
But I've got an
someone.
idea, huh?
I said, imagine someone who wasn't able to pass the police entrance exam, or the penitentiary guard exam, and still wanted to be in uniform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, aim high. So I'm like just trying to get my eyes, but I realize I've got it's like I'm got this absorbed energy from the shock of this, and it's like, okay, I'm done. So while in pain and kind of backing off, because I assume like the police officers or the officers are kind of moderately like, oh, they're doing
yeah,
that
yeah.
thing
They're
and
trying to
trying to
correct the
tend to
problem they
me.
just caused.
Yeah,
Unexpected
I'm
correct.
stepping back, and as I'm stepping back, I go, ha, 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 and I release the energy on Chew.
So the rest of you watch an interesting thing. He runs over to the police officers, has a couple, a few words with them. The one guy's like gesticulating wildly with his pepper spray can, which he drops, grabs him midair, hoses your team leader all over the face with a whole bunch of green noxious foam, who then bends over, obviously in pain, and then sneezes so hard the two officers go flying backwards. All of the gulls are on, by the way, start screaming in unison that because this is obviously the funniest thing they have ever seen.
Right.
Because we're laughing our asses off
say.
too.
So I try to vaguely feel the sidewalk under my feet to get back to the crew and just utter help. Just somebody who's got something, please. The burning, oh, the burning.
All right.
Well, go ahead, Jack.
Well, I've got a first aid kit on me. Can we say that there's some antacid in there?
Yes.
Grab a bottle.
Especially given that I carry pepper spray, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, then you should carry a bottle of milk of magnesia with you to flush it out. Dump a couple tabs in a bottle of water, shake it up, and start, trying to flush his face off.
What are you singing about?
Meanwhile, while he's stumbling, to create a diversion so that those idiots don't think that he just attacked them, I go and get all indignant teenager on them about how dare they attack my dad. And what do they think? How do they think that I'm going to feel coming
Pull
to
your
a school
cell
like
phone
this?
out.
I am, yeah,
Oh yeah.
You tell me this is a safe place, but here you go. Look, I'm just railing on them so that they don't realize what just happened.
So when you start
this?
they stand up to you, say, now look, miss, You have to and before they finish talking, they have both turned and run towards their car, get into it, slam the door shut, and drive off.
Oh, really? Oh, they do that.
Well, they just committed what could be
Assault.
assault and also a hate crime
Ugh.
because he
Ageist,
assaulted my
ageist.
husband. No, he assaulted my husband in front of our
right, I'm
daughters.
sorry. Yeah.
Where precisely do you think you're going?
So, did you work your way into the inside of their vehicle, or stepping in front of it?
Yeah, I'm stepping in front of it. I've got my hands resting on the hood. And just where do you think you're going?
The person furiously pops it in reverse, slams on the pedal, and the car goes traipsing in a very awkward angle straight into another vehicle.
Right.
I walk over to the driver's side window, which I assume is up.
So we have a Keystone Cop situation going on at this
Yes.
point.
Except the Long Island version, whatever the hell that is.
I knock on the driver's side window. You're having a very bad day, aren't you?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, I gotta double down on this, and I go and I join crash at the cop's car, and I start swearing at them in Spanish. But it's like nonsense swearing. It's just it's nothing particularly coherent. But it sounds very very impressive.
Oh God, yes.
But, Pendejo features multiple times during it.
So here's my question. Where do we go from here? Because obviously backwards didn't work. So how about some information?
What do you want? I can tell you where the big party is this weekend.
Look, you and I both know that you're one half step above a mall cop. But even you may, every once in a while, may stumble onto something actually useful. What do you know about the person bringing that stuff in?
Honestly, we don't really know much of anything. All these students, they all just look alike to us, to be perfectly honest.
Can I use my walk through walls to basically phase my hand through the steering column and just kind of short circuit the car?
Yes.
Let's try that again. The next one may not be the car.
So all we know is that someone brought this in and we had it sent off to the Brookhaven landfill. That's all we got. We can only stop so much stuff with the students.
Where, when, how much?
Oh, this guy had like a dozen cases of this at least. This is like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Something tells me he wasn't a run-of-the-mill student.
I don't know that this stuff like it isn't that expensive. I mean, who knows what Swilvat that came out of, but
I am actually now full on attempting to intimidate him.
all right. Well, let's say how difficult is it to intimidate a campus security officer
Who just committed assault with
and wreck their
possible
car, mind you, in front of a whole pile of people and a couple of seagulls.
with a possible federal upgrade
Yeah.
for the hate crime. So
Fair enough. Let's call it a 3.
Okay. So can I get an asset for what I just did to the car?
Yes.
Okay. So in that case, I'm using Mind for Might. So instead of rolling using my intellect pool, I'm rolling using my might pool. My might edge is now 5, which allows me to put in 2 levels of effort for free. I get it down to a 0. It works.
Wah, wah.
Look, okay. We know the kid. He pays us off for his big parties that he throws every weekend. So, but we still had to confiscate the stuff because somebody got real sick on it.
Really?
Oh yeah, they had to go to the hospital. It was awful.
Tell me more.
Well, it turns out it's not so much the massive amounts of alcohol or the all the caffeine that's in it. There's some other things to kind of pep the kids up, and yeah, spring fever and all that, and so that has a bad interaction with some people, and so somebody got sick, and so we had to confiscate all of it. He wasn't happy, but we had to give back some of the $50 he gave us not to bust his party. I'll tell you that. Oh, that was awful. No donuts this week.
I'm staring the blank in just the very slow blink. Names, places, now.
Oh well, the kid's name is Todd Smith.
The dealer or the injured or the sick kid?
Oh, the dealer, the sick kid. Oh, they don't tell us that was, kind of private information. We're not allowed to know medical stuff. We're not real cops, after all.
Yeah. Todd Smith.
Yeah, Todd Smith.
totally not a made up
Right,
alias.
exactly, yeah. Right.
They are very good at their job. You do realize that.
Where do
Could have
you
fooled
need
me.
Where, when, how, contact information.
Oh, well, so they have the usual party. Hang on a second here. Where's my map? There we go. Yeah, they're just straight over on Fairdale. They rent a whole house. They have like a frat thing going on, but it's not like an official frat because it's not really that big a school. It's
And-
impossible to miss.
Right. So how does he rope you into it?
Oh well, see they have the big parties on campus on Saturdays just to get a lot of people around, and so we're just not on that side of campus while they're having the party.
What day of the week is it?
Right now it's Tuesday.
Fuck. All right. Glad to see that you're just as useless as I thought. Run along. And I turn around and I phase to invisibility. And I don't actually leave.
Able to drive, but unfortunately he can't because the vehicle's no longer operating. And then they start having an argument about this fact, which ends with, "And God damn it, what could you do something with that can? It's like my eyes are burning in here."
So, any chance any other useful information comes out while they're arguing?
No, the big thing that they keep harping on is they got rid of it. So doesn't even know why it's still on campus.
And what lab did they say they sent it to?
They sent it off to the Brookhaven landfill.
Okay.
Looks like we're going dumpster diving.
Oh, yay, my favorite.
Must
Matt
be
has a
juicy.
story about that, but
Save it for the after show.
I will.
All right, so I guess Brookhaven landfill.
So you get in your vehicle. The crows are still inside of it.
Sure.
So who's driving?
Not me.
Not me.
I'll drive.
So y'all don't want me driving.
I'll drive. Just
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, driving the Humvee, the seats were not designed for anybody who has a tail. So of course you have to deal with that.
so I'm like trying to like get the kind of like the tail out of the way so it's yeah.
While we're going, I actually want to send a text to Hellbender,
Okay.
asking if he knows of anyone pushing this stuff in areas other than, crappy little community colleges, specifically within the meta community. But any information is helpful.
That French swill. Oh, that's the worst stuff on the planet. I can't keep it on the shelves long enough. Everybody wants it. Like if you're gonna like do an all-nighter, but you want to have really bad judgment at the same time, that's the stuff to get. Straight out of Marseille, the crystal blue waters of the Côte d'Azur and whatever is rolling out of the streams from Provence. That's what it's made of.
Who's your supplier?
Oh, I have to import it. So I got this great contact. Runs a import export business. His name is Todd Smith Sr. He's from out in Long Island.
No,
Thanks.
it's not me. I am Omar Incognito.
By the way, are those crows in the background? What
These are
the heck is
texts.
hanging out?
These are texts.
Okay.
Knox is like
It's
Snapchatting on the phone. Like,
Hey, Jack, how's your chemistry?
fairly good, especially if you want exothermic reactions. What?
How about analysis?
Pink's better at that, but I can try and give it a go.
Yeah, it's one of your weaker skills, so you're about as good as a grad student in
Ah, inability. Got
it.
Ouch.
All right. Put that on the shelf for the time being.
So you drive further along the island because, nothing says having a good time like driving around Long Island looking for a landfill.
You're right. Nothing says it like that.
Nothing at all.
So the Brookhaven landfill is located in a wonderful, wonderful part of Suffolk County, right near a community I cannot pronounce. Yaphank. I don't even know what to. But just north of Brookhaven, a delightful location of, we have some open area here. Let's dig a big hole and put everybody's garbage in it. And the locals are none too happy about this, it turns out. I was doing a bit of researching on the location. But you pull up there, and wouldn't you know it, there are more seagulls there than you've perhaps seen in your entire life. They tend to hang out in landfills, of course, because there's free food in landfills, and they tend to like that stuff. But they are blanketing the area. They are everywhere. The crows in the car are even more nervous than they were before. They seem slightly worried that you might not be able to handle this many.
Got this. Don't worry, guys.
Angry, drunk seagulls.
So you pull off the road and go down the driveway and get to that inevitable weigh-in station, because that's how they, when you drop stuff off yourself, they just weigh your truck in and weigh it on the way out and then charge you for the difference. So you pull up, and a very bored-looking person in, surprisingly clean overalls strolls over to your vehicle. You roll down the window. He doesn't seem even slightly fazed by the fact that the person driving the vehicle has cat ears. And so, what you dropping off?
A little less dropping off and more looking into stuff. The campus police dropped off some of that French energy drink crap.
Oh yeah, the seagulls go crazy for that shit.
No doubt. So that's still here, or did somebody take liberties with it?
So when it came in, of course, it was in the back of the truck, so it spilled out into the landfill. But of course, some of our more enterprising employees here spotted it and brought it back to the shack in order to, enjoy some of it. And that's when the seagulls started showing up.
Right.
They were already here, of course, and but they the seagulls like stole a can or two, and then they started coming back in bigger and bigger numbers. We've pretty much had to relinquish the entire place, that nobody goes into the in there. We have our breaks out over here, far enough away where the gulls are not going to try to get at anybody. But like that, it seems like they have a king and everything. It is crazy.
Angry drunks, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what's with that, but yeah, but the although the king gull's not a bad guy or anything like that, he's perfectly reasonable. We talk to him all the time.
Does he talk back?
Oh yeah. What, you never saw a talking gull before?
Just wanted to know what we're dealing with. Can you point us towards his court?
Oh yeah, no, it's the building over there. Ignore the garbage truck in front of it. It's the gulls own it now. It's theirs. We just don't talk about that right now.
Okay. Pleasure doing business with y'all.
Has my
Next.
eyesight restored, at least functionally, by now?
Your eyesight is better. Your eyes are still like just blisteringly red. It hurts if you keep them open too long, or if there's a breeze. But
Well, the sunglasses help.
Yes.
Okay,
I put those so much on them.
I put those mothers, on. They're on. They're staying on.
I lightly reach over and just put a little bit of cooling on the sunglasses to ease the pain a little.
I have never appreciated your skills more than I do this very moment.
You're welcome, Dad. Okay, I'm gonna be calling Jack Pops for the rest of the forever too. So
I'm just gonna wither up, turn to dust, and blow away here.
Well, some parts of your brain are older than others, so I'm sure one part of you pops.
And we still haven't quite established all of that yet.
Yep. All right.
All right,
So,
so we're going towards His
We
Majesty.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Are seeking an audience with His Majesty.
His Majesty.
So you start driving towards there, and indeed there are just fucking gulls everywhere. Like, you have to like honk the horn a few times to get them to scatter so you don't run them over.
Run them over.
Yeah.
Just do it.
No, but then you'll have like gull parts all over your vehicle on the whole trip home. You're gonna have to wash it.
I'll
We're gonna have to
freeze
wash it
off.
anyway.
So you pull
Check
up
in
and you
on
get to the-
Knox. How's Knox doing?
Knox is trying to put on a brave face, and he keeps
Aw.
muttering to himself, "Rats." But eventually, you're able to pull up near the no longer used garbage truck that is just covered in the leavings of gulls, and gulls themselves are all over the place. And the break room, so it's just a shed. The garage door that serves as its door is open, and inside you see a bunch of boxes, empty cases of Cataclysmic energy drink stacked up into the approximation of a throne, and upon it is standing a single seagull.
Huh.
Is that what I think it is, despite the pain it's taking me to
Yep.
observe?
Yep.
Okay.
Depends on how bad of a trip you had back in college.
How about the trip I had just like 7 minutes ago?
Yeah. Next time don't block with your face, but
We'll talk tactics later. Anybody else want to take point? I am not feeling up to it right now.
You are the only one who doesn't have an inability in pleasant actions. So yeah, I mean, Crash is happy to do it. It just will not be a pleasant conversation.
If I do it, I'm just gonna freeze the guy and like melt the place
So-
down.
Knox,
All right.
still on your shoulder because it feels that's safer than being inside the vehicle, pokes at the side of your head.
What?
Go.
Okay. All right. God damn, listening to crows. So I mosey up. I refuse to bow. I will not bow.
You step into the presence of the king of the gulls, who looks at you, tilts its head a little bit to the side, says, "What the fuck do you want?"
It's your mother with that mouth?
My mother forgot me as soon as I was an egg.
Yeah, well.
And
I
how
start to
dare
say
you?
something and Knox hits me in the face with his wing to keep me from saying what I'm about to say to.
And how dare you bring one of those stupid excuses for a boy with you on your shoulder?
You're nothing but a flying sky rat, so I don't want to hear about it. Besides, you guys attacked my people.
Yeah, you know what? That's because they wouldn't get the fuck out of our way.
You came into my territory.
Oh, I seem to notice that you're here in mine,
Yeah,
you cooing with my bud?
gracing me with your presence.
because I am here to return the favor.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, you think you can return the I'll have you know, this stuff is wonderful. The other gulls kind of like it, but it gave me superpowers, just like you.
Yes, I gotta see. Said to no one in particular.
Yeah.
I want to see. I don't know if I want to see that.
Where's the Mole King when you need him?
Yep. Right. So this stuff gave you superpowers, huh?
Oh, you don't believe me, do you?
Well, I can see it's made you a complete asshole. What else you got?
Yeah, so it makes
No,
me
I
just
think he
think
was like
nothing,
that from the
jabroni.
beginning.
I mean, that's the default setting for seagulls, right?
Yeah, I'll show you what I can do. I can control others with my mind.
Really?
Both cells of it?
A swarm of seagulls starts flying around you and goes in for the attack.
Not again.
Oh,
Okay, so Jack slides a hand in his coat, flips something out, which just extends, sort of does the articulating out, and points it over at a large trash pile where there's got to be some methane in there, and says, "I wouldn't do that."
Oh, I'm not.
oh, I have three ciphers.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I
Oh yeah, ciphers.
All right, folks, roll for initiative.
excellent.
Oh, I just saw the damn map. Holy crap!
Oh, my character sheet's covering it. Okay. Oh, dear God.
Fortunately, I seem to have I can't see the map.
What's the difficulty? Is there any?
Nope, it's just standard difficulty.
Okay. Trevor, your rolls are still hidden.
Oh yes, they are. Thank you.
Oh shit! I'm trying to. Is it difficulty on the initiative
No,
3?
No.
no difficulty.
Yeah, just
You
Just straight
are
roll it.
about to fight with a pile of seagulls. Just so you know the difficulty of this combat that you might be experiencing.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, my screen, I do not have anything on the map. I don't see the player tokens. There's just a whole lot of nothing except up in the upper corner. It says Brookhaven landfill, and but it doesn't have.
It isn't loading for you? Is it loading for everyone else?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to resize it and drag it over so I could see it, because it was literally behind my character sheet.
I've got my character sheet popped out. I mean,
Hang on a second.
Okay.
Let him go to come check you out. Oh yeah, I am
this
so glad I got these.
Might I suggest reloading?
let's see what happens if I just. There we go. Now I have a map.
Hooray!
Okay, at least I didn't have to reboot, so
Yep.
we'll call it good.
Yep.
And I have to find my character again.
Okay, has everybody rolled for initiative?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, it is time for asshole maneuver number 1.
So there's just a pile of seagulls up there, flying around and swooping in towards you guys. So what are you going to do about them?
Oh goodness.
You all feel the cold just come.
I mean,
'Cause
I have a way
I'm ready to take them.
Yes, I have a way to, I believe, quickly just take care of all of them. If you guys don't mind me jumping to the front.
Not at all.
Okay.
Go for it.
We can stop the speedster from jumping ahead.
Oh, no, okay. So I take out one of those little, like, snapper firecracker things like you get at, silly festivals, and I vibrate it, and then I launch it. It is a flash detonation CYPHER. Projects a small physical explosive up to a long distance away. Well, here, there we go. Blinding all within it for 1 minute. 10 minutes if the CYPHER is level 4 or higher. It is level 7.
Oh, I remember that. I used that on hooligans.
And I have the matter disruption detonation.
Jesus. Okay.
On top
I'm
of
gonna get a cup of coffee.
on top of having a burst boost CYPHER.
Oh, right. And I have I do have range increase. I don't know if that applies to like the radius of the CYPHER, but I would say it projects. I would say it would apply to the range of the thing, so it should go like a very long distance away.
Yeah, my burst boost creates a range to increases to immediate, but the ability affects all targets within an immediate range as well.
Nice.
And both burst boost and detonation are a level 7 CYPHER. So GM, how would you like us to handle this?
Let's see. Oh, man, my window's on top of another window there. Where are you? I keep selecting this one guy for reasons. Okay, so an immediate range's worth of seagulls are...
Which I would assume would be like probably if they are a group of seagulls coming down, that would probably be all of them, I would assume.
That'll be most of them.
Okay. They are blinded for 10 minutes.
Indeed. Oop, no, not blessed, blinded. Totally different things.
Yes.
Yeah, just a little bit.
No seagulls in this world are blessed. Well, unless
Just
there's a
cursed.
seagull pope out there somewhere. Okay. So let's see. Almost got that. Got this guy. And... So you get a vast chunk of the seagulls swarming around. Bright light goes off. Gene's not terribly happy about the bright light, which irritates his eyes even through the sunglasses.
It's just that kind of day for me right
It
now.
really is.
Okay, since you're all, you all go as a group before the seagulls because, well, once again, freaking seagulls.
Mm-hmm.
So who else wants to torment these seemingly mind-controlled birds? Neva.
I step forward right after Crash and let go with a onslaught, which hopefully I can then use my detonation of matter disruption and burst boost on. I want to double up this CYPHER.
I was really trying not to actually kill them.
Oh, he wants them dead.
They killed one of hers. Remember that.
Yeah.
Send one of mine to the hospital. Send one of yours to the morgue.
If you kill him, he won't
I am
learn.
going to go with physical onslaught. What is my base difficulty?
The base difficulty for a flying seagull is a 3.
Okay. Do I have any asset with the fact that I'm going to throw these CYPHERs on this?
Yes. Also with the fact that most of them are blinded, assists you greatly. So you have 2 assets.
2 assets.
The other 4 ones are just going to be unfortunate casualties.
Don't you have like either a power shift or a training in Onslaught?
Yeah.
It just works.
So yeah, we'll just say it works because I don't want to risk rolling badly. And
I keep losing the freaking math. What the hell?
And so on top of the 4 damage from onslaught, you get an additional 7 from the detonation.
And what is the range of the detonation or the area of effect? Is it immediate or?
The detonation projects a small physical explosive up to a long distance, and it always explodes in an immediate radius.
Okay.
And I added the burst boost, which decreases the range to immediate anyway. I mean, I'm going for these suckers.
Okay, so Neva steps forward, fires off 3 things simultaneously, and you all get to witness something that you're not sure that you ever wanted to witness, because the entire area where they were is now just a field of bloody pulp and feathers, which of course now explodes outward all over the remainder of you. It's just wiping out a large hunk of the seagull population inside of the landfill that were swooping in to try to take you out.
So at this point, I turn around, walk calmly but deliberately over to the chair, lean down, put my hands on the arms of it, on it, look straight into the seagull's eye, which is a phrase I never thought I'd say, and go, "What else you got?"
Oh, so you're going to be a hot ass, are you? You better be careful about your vehicle over there. My people are going to start doing something. And then the bird starts swirling above it, and just droppings start falling down upon your vehicle.
Okay. I'm gonna. Right.
Where the hell is it? I create a cover of ice on the vehicle.
All right.
Shape of an ice umbrella.
Basically, yes. So you turn back to look smugly upon the king of the gulls, only to realize he has already taken off and has started flying away.
Oh, I did not break eye contact with him.
Oh, you didn't look
He
back.
didn't. I did.
No.
Okay. So the gull tries to take off and like start flying out of the building.
So at that point, I've got my fingers around his little neck.
So, well, actually, yeah, that would be a speed attack, and the chances are that he's being the king of the gulls, he's a whole 4, and
Oh no!
he's flapping furiously. Nox hops over onto your shoulder.
I have not actually had a chance to take an attack yet because I've been dealing with the fact that the map crashed again for me. I am going to jump over to where the King of the Crow is and use. Let's see. I'm gonna take a good a nice swipe at the fucker, and I am going to grab him, and basically I swipe grab so that I really just like trap the his wings to his body and basically get him around the throat all in one motion. But two-hand, he's probably just making. I'm going to do two-hand to make sure that he really he can't fly away, so he can be dealt with.
Okay, he's struggling something fierce.
That 2 hands, I've dealt with birds.
And swearing a lot.
If he wasn't swearing, I would wonder what the hell's wrong with him. Okay, difficulty for him?
Once again, he's a 4.
He's a 4. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna use. Let's see. There we go. 7 points of damage, and his wings are pinned.
How many points of damage did you do?
7.
Oh,
Oops.
so the two of you grab this poor fucker out of the air as he tries to take off. And Paw grabs the bird by the body and pins its wings, and Crash grabs it by the head. And unfortunately, these two things swiftly become separated from each other.
Oops.
I calmly walk over, still kind of like holding my temples and like trying to, and I look over at the bird and I look at the two of them and go, holy crap. There's no way that bird could have ever survived that.
Oh no! Really?
Excellent.
Jeez, I mean, look. Oh my God.
I'm also going to assume now that the Bird King is dead, any remaining seagulls are now no longer under his influence.
The remaining seagulls start acting like regular seagulls, which the unfortunateness is they have no reason to leave the landfill at this particular point, so they're just kind of cruising around being seagulls.
You know, as long as they're not randomly attacking us or anybody else, fine, whatever.
Jack looks at the seagulls, looks down at his gun, sighs, folds it back up, sticks it in his coat.
Jack, we'll find you an appropriate target to play with your new gun. Something that really will, get a good splatter effect, when you hit it.
I walk up to Jack, pat him on his shoulder, going, "Sorry, Pops, I took away your toys."
Impudent child.
Okay, so now that the birds are done, what do we do about this damn drink that mutated them?
That is a very good question.
Jack sighs again, pulls the gun out. Okay, is there like a pile of cake, or it's his throne?
Throne,
Like,
yes.
are those empty?
Yes. They have consumed all of the drink that you've been able to find thus far.
Okay. Can we convince Knox to see if he can sniff out more of it?
I look at Knox and go, "You guys feel safe enough to hunt?"
Knox looks at you, looks at the ice-covered car with all the crows inside of it, who,
Oh, I take the ice away. I reverse the ice effect.
So the crows hop out and start scouring the area for any loose cans or cases of cataphu, and are unable to find any more of it.
Okay. So it looks like
seagulls drank it.
Seagulls drank it, so we
Bunch
now
of misbehaving French freshmen.
Yep. So it's talking to Junior and Senior then, I guess.
Hmm.
Yep. Well, shall we go head back to the
Yep.
headquarters and do some recon on these importing assholes?
Sure.
And you still
Sure.
have a safe inside of a trailer that you may want to try to get at.
That can wait for another day.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if you're quick with it, you might be able to get in before it's too late.
Um.
Okay, in game time, yes. In real time,
No,
it
no,
is.
In real
we're-
time, it's
we're
10
just about
o'clock.
to.
Yeah.
So you hop back in the vehicle and are heading back, and the crows are still hanging out inside because this is way safer than attaching to the roof while you're careening down the highway at the maximum speed of a
Yeah.
armored Humvee, which is somewhere around 55, maybe 60 miles an hour. How many times you want to stop for gas on the trip home?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on if it's the turbo model or not, which adds like a whole 15 extra horsepower.
I'm going to assume at some point Tink tinkered with it to do some weird Tony Stark arc reactor thing. So that we're not gas guzzling on the Humvee.
That is true. It's not very superhero like.
Rolling coal to.
That's
y'all.
I have to make a villain named Rolling Coal.
Uh,
That's somebody you guys would just love to beat up.
Yep.
yep. And y'all insist on using this piece of shit still, so.
Hey, I
You
stole
haven't
it fair
stolen a
and
better
square.
piece of shit yet.
I stole it fair and square, and you made me give back the Subaru.
I didn't make you give back the Subaru. I wanted to keep the Subaru.
That Subaru is since been sold by its owner because of the glitter inside of it.
See, we could have bought that cheap.
Family squabbles.
So you head back towards your part of town, and you note that the crows of your neck of the woods have pushed their front forward and are pushing the interlopers from their neck of the woods back onto the rest of the island where they belong, because they do not want to have any of those types hanging out.
So out of curiosity, how close our path back to headquarters, how close does that take us to Rikers?
Oh, it can take you, let's see, zoom out a little bit. So
Yeah, if it's on our way back, that's one
it
thing.
can be. The most direct route will take you to you're traveling down 495, and eventually you have to hop onto 278 to get into your neck of the woods, which passes right by LaGuardia, and thus if you hop off at the one exit, you're right near the causeway for heading out to Rikers.
Yeah, let's
All right.
take a detour here.
Fine.
All right, so you exit the highway. You pull into the industrial park so you can, get a good view of what's going on. And indeed, you can see that part of the island. And sitting right off the road there is still the same trailer, just off by itself. The base that has been set up is on the more on the northeastern part of the island. The circus occupies the entire western side of it. And this is, by the let's see. Let me zoom in my map here. Does this road actually have a name anywhere? Nope. Doesn't help. But it's at a corner of the road in the parking lot on the southmost western part of the island. Just temptingly just sitting there away from everything else.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to be around it even.
It's a clever ruse.
Yeah.
You know, I would normally say I feel like they're setting us up for a trap, but we have actually seen weirder shit today.
Yeah.
You say plucking some feathers off of you.
Yeah.
Still got that weirder shit's blood on your fingernails.
Oh, by the way, can I assume that during our drive I have recharged my intellect back up to standard?
Yeah, you can definitely it's a good hour-long drive, so you can definitely take as many of your rest periods as necessary.
Thank you.
So you pull up, you're looking out at it, and then things are starting to get back to normal around you. And you know, when you stop the car and step out to go look across the river with whichever binoculars or other scopes you may have on you, yeah, you can see it. You can think of, you can try to cross the causeway. You can try to grab a ferry from the from across the Bronx by the fish market because, of course, you happen to have friends there. The Adam family runs that whole neck of the woods, and so you can obviously catch a boat. You might even be able to freeze part of the river and walk across it. There's just lots of possibilities. So, but before we wrap up for the night, meanwhile, way back in the wilds of Long Island,
Uh-oh.
the second superpower that apparently the King of the Gulls has kicks in, and his healing factor grows him a whole entire new head. Pops out, gets up. Oh, those motherfuckers! I'm gonna get them. And that's it
Nice.
for tonight.
Excellent.
Should have disintegrated him when I had the chance.
Once
All
again,
right,
it's all Gene's fault.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yes, that was issue 27 of the Powers That Be. This one was called Gulliver's Travels. Yep, that was. We have a recurring villain, and I swear its name needs to end up being Bird Brain. In the meantime, we're gonna take a quick break, come back to our after show, which will be up on YouTube probably tomorrow night. Again, as always, leave us comments. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. Let us know that you're actually out there. In the meantime, for Patrick, ECAT, Matt, Julie, and Ray, I am Trevor, the Vitruvian Meeple. Have a good night, everyone.